My name is Peter Skinner. I'm aged 81, and I recently came across an opportunity to join a franchise which provides a service to retired people, advising them on various government allowances that are available out there, and to show them how to go about getting hold of those. Because the majority of people either don't know about these allowances, or if they do, they don't think they qualify. And in a very high proportion of them, actually, when you start talking to them and asking questions about their lifestyle, etc., you find that they actually do qualify. And if we can get them some free money, which is really what it's all about, people are pretty pleased. And it's one of the easiest sells I've ever had to do in my life. So it's in my opinion, it's actually providing a tremendous service to retired people. And some retired people are pretty dire straits, particularly with what's going on in the economy at the moment. And we can get them up to about £5,000 a year tax-free, which is worth a heck of a lot of money. And it's in capital terms, you would need about £160,000 to generate that. And in many instances where we've got a husband and wife situation, we can get it for both of them. So they're now getting the best part of £10,000 a year tax-free. And that's worth over £300,000 of capital, which they didn't have. I'll give you a case that we did recently where the husband is suffering from early stages of Alzheimer's. The wife's got various issues, health issues. And yesterday, I had a telephone call from the wife to say, we've just had the first payment of £700 dropped into our bank. And naturally, she was quite pleased. As I was as well.
Yeah.
Because we get paid then as well. And again, you see, they're on a no-loss situation, because we don't ask to get paid until they get their application approved.
Which is why it's presumably the easiest sell in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they are risking absolutely nothing, and they've got everything to gain.
How amazing. And so what is it that, most people, I guess society or kind of narrative might dictate is that you get to 65, 66 and you retire and you basically don't work. What is it at the age of 81 that made you think, yeah, okay, I'm going to set up this business?
Okay, well, you ask yourself, what am I going to do day to day with my life? Am I just going to sit around reading the paper and watching the news and going for walks and things? I think there's a bit more to life than that. And if you can do something actually that helps other people and at the same time rewards your efforts as well, I think it's a pretty good recipe for success. And so really my sort of long-term objective is to build this business up. I want to have a series of teams of people doing this, because I'll train them how to do it, and then eventually sell out to somebody who I think would be quite pleased to get it. Because the way we get most of our business is we will go into a retirement home or complex where there are a lot of retired people, and we put on a presentation that lasts about half an hour. And people are actually quite enthusiastic when they hear about this. And then we make appointments and sign them up from there.
Yeah.
And of course, people then refer on to their friends. So, another one, this day before yesterday, this lady rang me and said, hey, Peter, I've just been accepted at the top rate. This is brilliant news. And I said, okay, Gail, I want you to go and tell all your friends about this. And within half an hour, I had two of her friends on the phone saying, can I have some of this?
So it's quite a nice opportunity for marketing as well. It's quite niche. You're not having to, I don't know, pay all sorts of money for Google AdWords or anything like that. So it's a nice little business.
Well, it is.
So what with this business, tell people what this business gives you personally. What do you get out of running it?
Well, I get a huge kick because I like selling anyway. I find that's a very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a very motivating activity, and most selling situations, you actually got to lift people from here, put them over here. And here, it's very easy to make that transition, whereas most sales situations, there's quite a lot of effort to move people from A to B.
Yeah.
And it is incredibly rewarding. I saw one lady, she was really on her uppers. She was wondering how she was going to eat, let alone heat her home or anything. And we got this money for her, and she burst into tears. She was so moved by this. Well, that gives you a tremendous warm feeling.
It really does.
Yeah.
Good for you, Peter. Good for you. And I mean, you were saying something before about, I guess, that kind of broader perspective, about, so not just you, what this business gives you, but what do you think is the value of work generally for people who might be in their 70s, 80s? What can it give them? Well,
I think it has, so many benefits. It's important that you, keep your brain active. If you keep your brain going, your body will follow to a large extent. There are some things we can't control, but and certainly if you've got a purpose in life, which is work, whatever work is, then I think it benefits you both physically, mentally, emotionally, and every other way.
Yeah.
And I've forgotten which Greek philosopher it was who said that work is man's best pleasure, and it is. When you do something and you do it well, to the absolute best of your ability, and it turns out well, that's a huge benefit to you, I think.
What do you think at the moment of society where I think the general idea is that people retire still at 65, 66, and organisations and certainly government, I don't think are really at that point of really encouraging, supporting, or doing much to embrace the value that people over 70 or 80 can bring actually to the world of work. What are your reflections on that?
Well, I think that they're wasting a huge resource.
Completely, yeah.
If you think about it, these people have got a lifetime of experience. I've been in financial services and I've been through some pretty unpleasant periods. Now, when things go wrong, you've probably been down that track several times before, and you realise that actually it isn't the end of the world, and you can navigate your way through it. And I think if you can bring some sort of broader perspective to the younger generation, it's incredibly helpful. And everything that I've done in life, I've looked at those people who've gone ahead of me, and those who've been successful. I said to myself, well, how has he done it, or how have they done it? And talk to them and try and emulate them. And I think if I can do the same to younger people, then I've provided something worthwhile. And I find, I think, to the whole of society is beneficial because both from the health standpoint, if we can make ourselves all healthier, that must be a good thing to do.
Yeah.
And working in an occupation that you enjoy and is pleasant must be a good thing. And from an economical standpoint, this country would be hugely better off if they tapped into that resource, which is currently just lying idle.
I agree. What other kind of words or pearls of wisdom would you share? Let's say we've got people in our community who are in their 60s, 70s, 80s, then they're sort of thinking, I want to get into work. I'm not really getting opportunities on the corporate side. What would you say about your experience about this sort of starting up and doing your own business and kind of taking it from there?
Well, I think I'm terribly impetuous, actually. My wife is always telling me that I'm stupid and do rash things. However, if you see an opportunity in life, I think you've got to assess it thoroughly. And if you can see some benefits from it, go for it. Give it 110% of your energy and attention, and believe in it, and it will succeed. And I think that applies to, at any age. Doesn't matter whether you're 35, 55, 65, 85, whatever. Go for it.
What a lovely message. Thank you, Peter.